Hi guys, welcome back to Overbite Gaming, and today we're going to be taking a look at Mafia Definitive Edition, which is, I don't want to say a remaster because it was rebuilt from the ground up of I think a 90s PC game, which I actually owned back in the day, and do again on GOG. So yeah, I actually bought that like 2 weeks before this came out, which was, you know, primo brain move there, but whatever. So this released, I was a little bit trepidatious because the Mafia 2 remaster had a lot of bugs when it was released. I think it's okay to play now. I haven't had any problems with it for a while, for a little while anyway. And Mafia 3 also had a few bugs, but Mafia 3 to me didn't even feel like a Mafia game because you weren't a member of the Mafia, really. It was just like, yes, we're just this gang that sort of ties into the Mafia a little bit, and then they betray us, and it's all about fighting the Mafia rather than being like a member of a family, which is, yeah, you know, mileage may vary, but it was a decent game overall. I felt the main character is a bit overpowered in stealth, to be honest. He was like, yeah, he was just a knifey machine. But the remaster for the original game came out. Now, I played the original back in the day and enjoyed it very much. I think I finished it, but like, that was a long time ago. I do remember having difficulties with a couple of missions in there, one being the infamous race mission, and the second being one on a riverboat. I think both of those presented no problem this time around. The race mission, it took me 2 attempts to do, only because I'm terrible at racing games. And the riverboat mission, it was fine, had no problems with it whatsoever, I did first try. I think it's because what it has done is not only improve the looks of the game, but it also has incorporated a few sort of quality of life improvements that we would expect from modern games. Like on the riverboat thing, in the original, I remember being really confused as to what to do and where to go. But now it's all very clearly signposted, so there's no confusion there. I mean, you could be the type of gamer that thinks that's a cheap cop-out, but for me, being able to progress in a game that I've bought and not getting stuck, that's far more valuable, because I want to get my money's worth out of the game. I want to see how the story ends. I want to be able to enjoy it rather than feel frustrated by it. Now, it was done by Hangar 13, who I believe did the previous remaster and released by 2K. And it's fine. The remaster is very well done. I was planning on saying I had no performance impacts whatsoever, and it ran perfectly well. The first lot of footage that I captured in this game at the start of the game was fine. It did go through a couple of NVIDIA driver updates, and then I captured some more of it and was getting stutters every so often. I'm more inclined to blame NVIDIA's tinkering, you know, over the panic around the 3080 right now, over the actual game. So I think it will be ironed out once again, either by a game patch or a subsequent NVIDIA patch, because they broke the performance in several other of my games as well. Like GTA 5 just stutters quite badly now for me, which it shouldn't do on my hardware. So we're going to put that up to NVIDIA and not blame the game for it, even though it's represented in the game footage that I captured. So the game is basically, you play a cab driver called Tommy Angelo, and you're sat in your cab, you're doing your cabbie thing, so you're picking up people, dropping them off, and then all of a sudden a couple of gangsters get in your backseat and tell you to drive, and you take them where they want to go, and your cab gets shut up a bit, and they give you some money to go get it repaired. And the bad mafioso, because you have good mafioso and bad mafioso, obviously they're not all just criminals or anything. I'm so marked for death now, aren't I? So yes, and you have to go and seek the protection of the Don, and you want to get your own back on these fellas that have been beating you up and stuff. So you do that, and you basically work your way into the family that way and become a trusted advisor. Ooh. Anyway, that's as much of the story I'm going to tell you. There's a lot of good characters in it. It looks great. There's a lot going on in the city. It looks fabulous. The lighting is great. It's on the same engine as the Mafia 3 engine, which is a nice engine in and of itself, but I think this looks better, and I like it overall more as a game because it's a Mafia game where you're a mafioso, so that makes more sense to me. The mechanics of the game aren't too bad at all. The gun combat could be better. It's not precise, I would say, so like wherever you put the reticle, with very few weapons you're going to put it exactly where the bullet hits, but it is fine. And it's representative of like using a handgun across extended distances. You know, like a lot of games you'll sort of fire your handgun and it will be like 400 yards away and like pinpoint. And that's not how handguns work. Successful handguns engagements are like within several yards. That's about it. But whatever. They are video games, I suppose, so I can't rag on them too much. But yeah, so the accuracy of the weapons are a little bit in and out, but I think it's representative of reality, so I'm fine with that. You do a lot of driving in this game. I almost forgot how much driving you do, because you obviously have to go from place to place, and you get out and do your bit, and then you get back in the car and off you go again. It's fine. The driving mechanics I really like. In fact, because I've got Mafia 3, they put his like charger in it, or whatever it's supposed to be, and I prefer the old style cars because I just prefer the handling of them. They feel like weighty, whereas that thing just drifts all over the damn place. So I'm really enjoying like driving around in the city. The only problem with it is not a true open world game. So what you'll do is you'll always have a mission objective, and that will be the only thing you can do. So you go to the mission objective. You know, you get, yes, well done, complete a chapter, press A. You press A, you get a cutscene setting up the next mission, off you go do that, and repeat. So the campaign is very linear. They do have a free drive section, where you can just drive around the city looking for collectibles. There's not really too many reasons to do it other than the collectibles themselves. You can unlock different cars, stuff like that. But there's no sort of activities to do. You just drive around. You can piss off the cops and have firefights, stuff like that, but you know, whatever, that's kind of boring. It's like when you did it in GTA and you're just like, I've got 5 stars now. I really couldn't be asked to be doing this. Just kill me. Kill me! So it kind of gets to that level. So, you know, if you're an achievement hunter, you know, God bless you, you do your thing. It's not really for me. Not even getting like extra cars and stuff. But they do have a very detailed car cyclopedia in it. So any car you use will be unlocked. So you can go to your garage and use that. So it's a really nice touch. And some of the cars do handle really well, and some of the cars don't. The infamous racing mission, which is like the one thing anybody that's played Mafia will remember from the old days, is that racing mission. It was a bastard before. Now, I completed it, as I say, on the second try this time. I didn't have too many problems with it at all. As soon as I got out in the lead, it was golden. It was just the fact that I did something stupid trying to get into the lead in my first attempt. At least that's what I'm going to say I remember. I don't think I recorded it because I didn't want to show my shame. But it is a lot easier. I will confess I did not play any of it on simulation settings because I like my games fun, not frustrating, which is why I don't play a lot of Dark Souls and stuff like that. I mean, I get Dark Souls on a level Snare doesn't. I understand the achievement of doing something really difficult and getting it and being like, wow, bloody hell, I did that. Wonderful. I get that. Whereas, yeah, no, Snare would rather not bother with that sort of thing. And, you know, the lad's working hard and he's got limited time to play games, so I suppose I can see it from his point of view as well. But yeah, I was not looking forward to doing the race. When I heard it was a race, I literally turned my PC off, went and did something else. I was like, yeah, I'm not really up for that right now. And I came back and breezed through it pretty much. So it was the same with the riverboat section where you go in and try and assassinate a councillor. And yeah, no problem at all. First time, it was easy as pie. So I was very happy with that. It is not a traditionally easy third-person shooter game. You are a bit squishier than you would tend to be in games of this ilk, which is nice because you do have to pay attention to shit and not just like run through everybody blazing away. I mean, you can do that to some extent, but a lot of the time you'll be getting shot from people you didn't even know were there. So you have to be a little bit more cautious. I mean, it's one thing to have like his infinite respawning health bar, which doesn't respawn. You need to go to a health box and pick up a health kit. You know, imagine that. Old school, baby. Old school. So once you've done, so you have to keep your mind on sort of like that. You have to top up because, you know, well, the game's going to progress me to past this point, so I need to make sure I've got my health topped up nicely and pick up rounds to the guns. I did find that the ammo capacity your character has is a bit low for my taste. So, for instance, I think like on his service pistol, which is like a 9mm sort of, what was it? Like an M. I know all the names of the weapons; they just escape me right now. There's a Seal Cadence song about it. A Beretta. There you go. I've at least come up with the maker's name, which is like a Beretta or whatever. It's probably not actually thinking about it, but what you know what I mean. A semi-automatic pistol, not a revolver. Moving along, yeah, you can hold 21 rounds for that, which seems low. I mean, it has a magazine of 7, so it's like 3 refills. And I'm kind of like, it feels to me you should be able to hold more rounds than that. Even, I mean, there's a reason these boys wore those big old trench coats, right? Lots of pockets, come on. You can hold 2 weapons at a time, so generally you'll have a pistol and you'll have a bigger weapon, which will be a shotgun, a Tommy gun, or a bolt-action rifle, something along those lines. The Tommy gun is quite nice to use. The shotgun it's nice to use when you're up close, because, you know, obviously the way games interpret shotguns is like the further away, the vastly less effective it becomes. And the bolt-action rifle is probably the most accurate and powerful weapon in the game, but there's so few of them about, you get very little ammo for it. You'll probably pick one up, it'll have like maybe 4 rounds in it, and then you won't be able to find another one, so you'll swap it out for one of the other weapons. But yeah, they're like pretty much one-hit kills, and they're super accurate. So if you're in a situation where you want to get like 4 men out of the way and then worry about the rest, then they're pretty good for that. They are slow though, as you might expect. So, I mean, it's not even priced that high. It's £35. I mean, if you haven't played Mafia ever before, like the first game, it's a no-brainer. The original game is great. This has been polished and smoothed well beyond its original. It looks great. It sounds great. There's one tiny bug I found, which isn't really a deal breaker for me, but I find in cutscenes, if you pause it, the picture will pause, but the audio will continue. And when you unpause it, it will just snap straight to where the audio is. So just to be aware on those points, but I mean, that's super minor. It's like, okay, I just watch a cutscene, then I'll pause it in the gameplay and go have a cigarette or get a cup of tea or whatever I want to do. So it's not a deal breaker. As I say, it's a little bit stuttery at the moment, but that was only like in one occasion of gameplay for about an hour, and that was after 2 pretty quickly delivered NVIDIA updates. So I'm thinking NVIDIA, in their haste to fix some of their 3080 headaches, are mistreating the rest of us, which is not great, because I have noticed that, yeah, I've had some really peculiar behavior since they've started putting these 3080 ones out. Like, I'm getting the one where half your screen goes black when you change video mode. So if you go into a game or come out of a game, half your screen go black. And now that has subsided, and if you are having that issue, then turn your monitor on and off. That generally fixes it. If it doesn't, then you're probably in trouble. Because I'm like thinking, oh shit, I've got to find, like, you know, I wasn't going to get a 3080 or 3070 or whatever, but like, if my 650 pound 2080 Super goes, then yeah, I might have to. Fortunately, it was fine. I actually found a really old Linus Tech Tip video that was about 4 or 5 years old, dealing with the problem. So yeah, it was just an annoyance more than anything, because my monitor takes ages to turn off, because it's like got one of those just button on the back that just does everything, so you need to hold it in forever to get it to turn off. But anyway, I am starting to wander from my point. So Mafia, £35, really good game. It's very linear, as I say, in the campaign, and I don't really see there's a whole lot of point in the free drive mode they give you. It's nice to have it, just if you want to like try out cars and run around and, you know, hoover up those collectibles, stuff like that. That's fine. It's not really for me. They need to have more of a reason for me to play it, so some activities or something like that in there that I can do, even if it's like procedurally generated missions, stuff like that. Just something to keep me busy while I get those collectibles, rather than just literally collectible hunting, because that's boring as hell to me. But yep, I really enjoy it. The story's great. I really enjoyed it when I first played it, to the fact that I've got a digital copy and a physical copy of it, and now I have the not the remastered, definitive edition of it. Don't let anybody bad its experience with 2 for you. They've done a much better job with this one, and I'm super impressed with it. It's not, I mean, you look at some of the faces, they're not really, we're not talking like Modern Warfare quality of like photorealism, but they get their characters across. They have recast and motion captured and use the likenesses of actors that they've got to do this, so it is from the ground up basically a new game. I mean, it has me sort of like umming and ahhing, because I like the characters from the first game, but I also like these guys as well. So they also cut out an awkward sex scene. Awkward sex is my kind of thing, so I would have liked to have seen that remain, but it's more implied this time around. You just sort of sit next to your bird on the couch, and she puts her head on your shoulder, and it sort of goes to black. Yes, whereas we had an awkward early 90s animated sex scene previously. I don't know. Horses for courses, man. If you like awkward sex scenes, have a go on the original, although the controls on that are far clunkier, and yeah, it's going back to that original game was a real headache for me. So I'm pleased to now have the definitive edition so I can play that. Mafia 2 itself is great. I mean, I know we haven't talked about the remaster. To be honest, it doesn't do much. There's a few improvements here and there. But I mean, I was playing Mafia 2 fairly regularly because it is a great game. Sort of right up to its launch, and when I tried it, I was like, okay, it looks a little better, but yeah, it's not a huge improvement. This one is. This certainly like going from an early 90s game to well, I suppose like a 2019, 2018 game, whenever Mafia 3 came out. We did review it, but I cannot remember. So it's using the same engine, so obviously it looks that much better, and it plays that much less clunkily as well. So yeah, if you've not played it, it's a no-brainer. Get it. Just get it. Thank me later down in the comments below. Just say, Lee, you are amazing for putting me onto this game because it made me queef. That's all you got to put. I want to see that. And if you don't like it, fuck off. Because you have no taste. Anyway, guys, let me know down below what you thought of Mafia Definitive Edition and whether or not you queefed. Dad, I'm expecting a queef from you, so you might have to Google what that is, though. Anyway, guys, I'm working on a rather big project, actually. And this is one is it's been something I've been thinking about for a long time, so I'm actually putting it into motion. I don't want to give anything away. I'll drop a teaser trailer for it before I release the video, I think, just to get your juices flowing. But it is something very different to what we've done in the past on the channel, and it's something I've been wanting to do for a long time. It will be quite a lengthy video, and I'm not sure if our audience is going to be hugely interested in it, but we'll see how it does. It's a one-off for now, but if it's successful and if people like it, then I would look into doing things like it again. For next week, though, because that may take me a little while to get together because it's a lot of work, I'm looking at a EA Star Wars Squadrons review. It drops within the next couple of days. The release of it is somewhat confused to me because it was stating the 2nd of October, then it went to the 3rd of October. Now it says the 1st of October, which is the day of recording this. I'm assuming midnight, or like just before midnight, which I'm not going to start for. But yeah, that is like my little boy fantasy game, Star Wars with VR and a hot ass controller. Hotos. How can I pronounce it so it doesn't sound dirty? I don't know. Hands on throttle and stick. And there you go. So that was the thing I've been wanting since I was like 4 years old, behind the cushions of the rocking chair in the living room, rocking it back and forth while Luke was doing the Death Star run in the original movie. Oh my word. I'm quite looking forward to it, I must say. So anyway, I might play some in just regular non-fancy VRO vision, just for the capture, because yeah, you saw my Alex review. I'm not so great at the capture. Anyway, guys, that's a little taste of what's coming up on the channel. Thank you for taking the time to listen to me waffle on about Mafia, because it's great, and so am I. Catch you next time, guys.